In today's video, I have an extremely crazy interior lighting setup to install from SWA Autosports. As you can see from the unboxing, I have a lot of wiring and a lot of trim panels to replace. As most of you know, I'm not that electrical guy, especially when it comes to wiring, so I'm bringing in the big guns. My boy Tater will be here momentarily to help me out. Now there is a QR code on the side of the box that I did scan. Unfortunately, my phone will not translate it. So we're gonna be going off all pictures. Should be an interesting installation. Let's get started with taking off the left front door panel because I want to make sure these things work before I just go ahead and rip everything apart.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm going to change some things around in this video. I'm actually going to show you the lights before I show you the installation.
I'm going to turn all the lights off here in the shop, show you guys what it looks like. I know I gave you a little tease at the beginning of the video, but now it's time. 3 hours later. Tater and I have been messing around for quite a while, trying to make sure all the wires line up and everything. So we cut all the parts out, laid them on the floor. We got a couple piles going on here. Let me show you where we're at. We have the center ones hooked up to the jump pack, and they actually turn on the driver stuff that we have hooked up. So those are for the right rear, left rear, and then we're not sure where those go. We're probably not even gonna use those. But up here, we have all the center console stuff, all the upper dash stuff, these dash strips. And check this out, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's got stars going through it. That's pretty cool. Then we have a bunch of these lights, which we're assuming go either under the dash or on the kick panel or something. Center console lights, we're guessing. And then in the doors, we did put one here in the door handle, right up here, which I'll show you when we get over to the passenger door. The speaker. And then you gotta make sure you put the right door harness on the right door. This one that has the most wires will go on the left front door, and then the one with the least amount of wires will go on the passenger door. For the rears, they're both the same, so you can use whichever one for either side. You get 5 of these little black boxes. We'll go over that later. And then the 2 trim panels. And then when we get to the passenger door, I'll talk to you on how we got those trim pieces in. Then we have 2 switches. This switch turns them off, low, medium, and bright, off. And then this one here changes the colors. Now there is also an app to download. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Now that we have the door panel off, it is time to remove the armrest, this trim piece here, and this trim piece here. Very easy. Mostly, it's just Phillips head screws. Now the door panel's off, now we have to remove the armrest, this trim piece right here, and this trim piece right here. It's very easy, just some Phillips head screws and some tabs. We got screws right here, 3 screws in here, 1 here, couple down and through here, more up here, and then these melted ones right here, we're gonna have to cut out. Now there are push tabs right here that you gotta push up and push out. And then for the armrest, you have this one right here. There we go. So the problem was, there's a little piece that hooks in over the back here, and I couldn't get it off of there until you just saw it fly on the ground. Now the door panel is upside down at the moment, but we have to cut these out. These 2 right here. They're melted in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna square it off with an X-Acto knife and just should be able to pull that out. Yeah, a very sharp blade is recommended for sure. Just like that, that one's out. Now it's on to the other one. I'm gonna put these 2 trim pieces in, very easy. Just put them in, run the screws back in, except for those 2 that we just cut out. We're gonna have to force 2 screws in, and it came with 10 screws, which we only use 2 per door panel, so you'll have 2 extra ones. Next thing we need to do is we need to put this one in. You're just gonna really run the wire right inside this hole here. Put the tabs back in their holes. And we just screw it all back in again. Okay, so now it's time to start wiring this up. So we have our wires and a box. There's 5 boxes. The door boxes
have the black end here where the harness goes into. Now the main one has the white plug that the red harness goes into, which I'll show you that here in a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna plug the black one in. This end will go into the window switch on the car, and then this end will plug in to the switch itself. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna feed this end up through here, and we'll flip it over. And we're gonna wanna mount the box in a way that we can get to these 4 little switches right here. Each box has them. Now, I'm leaving 2 down and the rest up throughout the entire car because as of right now, I don't know what any of these do. Other than 4, turns it off, you have nothing. It does come with Velcro. So we're gonna Velcro the one back side. And then we're gonna plug mostly everything in, and then we'll figure out where we wanna put that box. This does come with a splitter, a 1-into-2. We are using this on the doors. And we're gonna use one of them with this guy right here. This will be the one inside the door handle. They're very easy to line up. One slides right into the other one. Like that. And then we also have one like this. Now this piece comes right off and it has some adhesive on the back. This one will be for the pocket inside the door. But we're gonna have to drill holes for this one. And we're also gonna have to drill a hole for this one too. We're gonna hook this one up and we'll save this for after we drill the hole. So I think the best mounting position for the box is right here. That way, all I have to do is pull that trim off and I should be able to either get my hand back here or at least like a flathead screwdriver or something. Or a pick, a round pick, that would probably work too. So we'll just peel the back off of the Velcro and we will put it right here. Now all we're gonna do is run the wires. Now you gotta be careful. There is one with 3, the rest have 4. The upper trim piece is the one with the 3. This one could be the speaker, which we'll get to in a second. This one being a shorter one, we're actually gonna put this right here. And I think it's time to start drilling holes. Oh wait. We have this one here. Now to drill this hole here, we're going to use a 3/8 drill bit. So I'm just going to push this in there, make sure it fits. Fits like a glove. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take the backing off of this white piece here. There we go, it's in. And where is, here it is. I'm just going to take the hole here, push it inside of there, like that, and the adhesive from the sticky part of it should hold it in place. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to take some electrical tape and we're just going to tape the wires up back here, that way they're not just loosely flopping around. So everything's taped up. I know it doesn't look that great from behind, but you're not going to see behind the door panel, so that doesn't really matter. Moving on to the last part of the door panel, this speaker. We have the wire here, which is right here, so we need to put this in like this. Grab myself a Sharpie, and whatever is left over on the edges, I'm just going to make a mark. Then we're going to put it down, make sure it fits inside of here, which it doesn't. I got to take a little bit more off right here. Okay, so that sits in there really good. But now what we're going to end up having to do is we're going to take these same cutters,
we're gonna cut a V right here for the wire. Yeah, you don't wanna cut the wire off. Once that's done, we will connect it and we're good. The hole here, I need to take the screw out right here, pull it away from the door, that way I can drill the hole. And I'm gonna drill the hole right in here, because if I do it back here, the door handle is just gonna be in the way. So what you need to do then is you need to take this one, the little white end with that little knob, that hole you drilled, you're gonna feed the wire back behind it. And pretty much just gonna push that into that hole. So what we're gonna do to make this stay in there is we're gonna run some electrical tape over top of it. That way we know it will stay. Because it folds over so much, it just wants to pop out. One last reference, take a picture. That way you can see how the wires are ran. Now we gotta hook everything up and put the door panel back on. So now we have to take this wire and plug it in up here. Now on the back door handle, I am going to drill the hole right here. Now for the back doors, we're going to put the hole right down here. That way the light's coming up from the bottom. Because it is at a weird angle, you're going to rub the bottom of the door panel. As you can see, that white tab fell through the hole now. That's it, we're done. Well, we're not done yet. Now we gotta start the dash. So it's on to doing the dash pieces. Now, the only ones we're gonna do is we're gonna do the little strip, the big strip, and the one that goes behind the honeycomb. The other 5, we're not even gonna run. One main reason being is because I honestly don't know where to put them. To do that, what we need to do first is we need to pull this bottom piece out because we're going to put the switch right here beside my fog light switches. So you're just going to yank down from the bottom and that will come out. Now you don't necessarily have to take it off completely. We're just going to let it hang there. You need to remove the dash trim piece that has the air conditioning controls. It is tough, I'm not gonna lie. You need to just pry it out. That's the only thing you can really do. So start under here, work your way to the ignition switch, pull it out, and then work your way across. And you just have to pull, but you gotta pull gently and hard at the same time. I know, it's tough. But you don't wanna break it. So what we need to do next is we need to remove this piece right here. It looks like it's just held in with these tabs. And we have to replace it with this piece right here. Then once that is done, we need to take this long piece here, tuck the wire in behind it, and then we can push this on firmly, and then we can just sneak this in behind it. This thing only goes in one way. Make sure to clean that off just in case you have any fingerprints or anything before you put this in, because once you do, you're never gonna get to clean that again. And just like that, she's in and ready to go back in the car. But before we can put it back in the car, we definitely have to hook this up first. Now, as you can see, we got quite a mess right here. We have this piece off, this piece is down, everything else is okay. All you need to do to put the switches in, just pop that little cover out, push the switch in, and then just connect it. That's really easy. Right here, there was already a hole. So all we did was just run a bolt through here with a nut on the back. That's for the ground. The ground is obviously your brown wire because your accessory is labeled. The ground is not. And then what we did for power, we didn't run it to the battery. We just ran it to the fuse. We got a little fuse splitter and ran it to an empty fuse up underneath the dash panel here. And all the extra wire that we had, we're not going to use it yet. We might use it down the road, but we have it all tied up and tucked up underneath the dashboard here. This piece here, you do not have to remove this fully. You just need to get it back here out. That way you can tuck the wire in, and then that little strip just goes right in here. Very easy. Now, to get those two wires off the main harness, they supplied us with this little rubber little tube. Tape it on the end of this tube, and you just feed it up through the back here. So we have both, one for the strip and one for the piece that we put there. Well, actually, one for the piece that we put here. That way we can just connect them all, put everything back in, and we should be golden. All right, plug everything back in, and then you can push it back in. As long as you have the wire behind it, you don't really need to do anything with this until you get it back in. At least that's how it worked on the other side. 10 hours later, after running a ton of wire, a lot of brainstorming, Tater and I have finally finished this installation. At least 90% of it, because we still have 4 that we didn't hook up. But come to find out, 2 go in the A-pillars with the tweeters. 1 goes under the AC controls facing down towards the center console. The other 2, I have no idea. And I say other 2 because Tater put 1 under the steering wheel. Now, I don't know, but I don't think you're supposed to put 5 in the doors like we did. Now, 3 of them in the doors you have to do, obviously the trim panels and the speakers, but the other 2 you can kind of place wherever you want. In the pockets, you can put it anywhere around the pocket you want to. Where the door handle goes, you kind of have to put it in a specific place, reason being because if you put it somewhere else, the door handle is just going to block it and you will never see it. I hope I didn't forget anything, but if I did and you're trying to do this yourself, don't hesitate to shoot me a message and I will help you out the best I can. A humongous shout out to SWA Autosports as always for sponsoring today's video. Another big thank you to Tater. Please do me a favor, go to the comment section and thank Tater, because if it wasn't for him, let me tell you, it's 9:15. I would probably be here for another 8 hours if it wasn't for him. So go to the comment section and give him a big thank you for me. I gotta give a thank you to my man Darren Brooks for helping me out. He was actually the first person to install this. Thank you for answering all my questions that I had. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If this video helps you out at all, or you just enjoy my overall content, you know what to do.